That was right before me then, I guess.
I see the lawyers. Nobody's got to practice anymore. You know, it's really hard.
I would have been 2 years before you.
You know, honestly, we need to hire.
Yeah,
We hired
okay.
somebody already. We need to hire somebody again. It's hard.
Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our December 14th meeting of the Commissioners, and we'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And let's try the December 18th meeting.
December 18th. Yeah, wow. Best meeting of the year.
Okay, the first thing we have on the agenda is for the County Attorney, Matt Shipman.
Thank you. The only thing I have that's new to add is I did get from Cindy Barnett the original agreement, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to print them, but I printed extras off in case you guys actually want to see them. There's not much to it. It really is just a fee for services, and the amount changes every year. So if you look at the Exhibit A that's attached to this one that was apparently originally done in 2015, the amount was $70,000, and the only thing that's changed really is the amount just changes. But the contract itself, there's not much to it. It just says we have to comply with federal law and those things, but I didn't see any red flags at all with the contract. And that was our holdup with signing it, is, hey, we're extending a contract that we make sure we had eyes on. So,
but that dollar amount can be changed at any time.
I mean, the dollar amount, yeah, is yes, it doesn't
because
say
we're
that
going
it's a set
from a
amount.
part-time to a full-time
They're,
staff member next
They're
year.
year-to-year contracts, and so every year when you get a new contract with the amount, Cindy's not here, I think. So,
But
that is part of the negotiation. I'm assuming between the county and the.
But I would guess that they go before the council at budget time, right?
Well, it's part of the budget. That staff person is part of the budget.
Yeah, so they've been in front of the council, and this is the 2018.
So is this the correct
Extension.
figure? Is this the old figure? next year.
The contract that just came through is the old figure. Jana has the extension.
There's the new, there's the new one.
It's 100.
Yeah,
104,720.
yeah, okay, fine.
Well, I'd
Sorry
make a
about
motion
that.
that we have our chairman, it only has a line for one person. I make a motion that we have our chairman sign this extension agreement.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussions? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same.
One other thing, just to kind of bring to you guys' attention, you guys authorized me to file the lawsuit to recoup the ceded money from Intelligent. We have gotten service on them. We're getting really close to being able to file for a default, but I did get a phone call from an individual who just Googled it and found it on the internet, who had invested apparently a sizable amount of money in Intelligent down in Florida, and he's having the same issue, and real similar story. Hey, he told me locations were coming. I keep going and looking. They haven't shown up. There's no locations showing up. So whether we're going to get anything out of that lawsuit seems less and less likely, but we'll have a judgment against them. To actually, from what they did originally have a location down in the Carmel area. That location doesn't exist anymore. It was leased space within a bigger office building. So we're going to have to hire counsel in Florida to go down there. To the extent they have assets, that's where they're going to be if we want to try to take further action and collect the judgment. So once I get that, I'll come back to you and we can talk about that. But.
So it's going to be tough to decide to spend any money in Florida when you're not sure there's even anything there.
This individual I talked to,
you'll go down.
I think the three commissioners should go down and
take a trip. Yeah, I'm hoping this individual that I've talked to, actually, he's kind of right at a step before us, but he's he's kind of doing that, and I suggested to him that if he hired a lawyer and went forward with it, and his lawyer found assets to call me, because maybe we
Okay,
could.
you piggyback.
Yeah, do you figure out a way to gang up on him and share some expenses or something, so, we'll see if that materializes.
Right.
But yes, it might be possible, but it's not worth spending more money on.
Okay. Do you have anything for?
No, I'm thinking back about this Inwelligent thing, and I was here, I was involved, so I get it,
But
but,
it's your little town, that was gonna benefit.
yeah, and I'm trying to figure out why they didn't put up the money. We had a similar thing happen before that. A Chair Busco firm came to us and wanted some seeded money for on-site, off-site, and we said sure, and then afterwards we're going, oh, wait a minute, Chair Busco gets their own seeded money, and I'm wondering why we didn't think.
I believe Churubusco did contribute as well.
Do you? Okay.
Yes, they did.
Okay,
I can't
I was-
remember the amounts, and I didn't bring that contract with me, but they did participate as
Okay,
well.
that's fine, because I'm thinking,
Yeah,
they had a dog in the hunt, so
they did participate
Okay.
in some way, I can't remember.
that's all I had.
The reason, what happened on that also, Don, was that they actually came to the investment committee for the
Yeah,
EDC
yeah,
to start.
yeah.
And that seeded funds was part of, we salted that for $100,000 into that, for that investment. And that was part of the reason that was used seeded monies. It wasn't that we really said, we wanted to go to Inwelligent.
Okay. Okay, yeah, got it,
That's how that really came about.
okay.
Anything else? Dean?
Yeah. So my last act, I guess, is I've given you a contract for my consultant to review. But I think you should have Matt approve it. So it's pretty short. But I did want to just.
You better read that, Matt,
Yeah,
please.
better read it carefully. Wanted to thank you guys. We kind of inherited each other over the years at different times as you joined, and I was here a few years back. A story about that was that initially I was solicited by Tom Rethlake because they were losing the county attorney, who was at that time Jeff Gage, and he said they would like me to consider doing it. And I said, sure. I said, how many other applicants are there? He says, there might be one, but that's the only one. He said, should be no problem. So that led to an interview, which was a public interview at a commissioner's meeting with me and another applicant, who was a good guy, but I won't name him. And so Rethlake calls me after the meeting. I said, when do I start? He says, you don't. The other guy got the job. I said, oh, well, that's nice. You bring me in front of a public meeting and humiliate me, but that's okay. Well, then 4 years later, that guy left and on to greener pastures, and so then I joined. I joined the county, so I've had a great experience. It's been, it's been very educational for me. I know it'll be educational for Matt. He's a good guy, but what I want the public, I think, to understand, I wish this was one of these meetings where they were all full. It's all full, and I could say good things about you that somebody would hear. You people all matter. But people do not understand. There's probably, I can't even say the number because I don't know the numbers in the county, but there's probably at least a dozen elected officials that make more money than you do. And these guys have what's designated really as a part-time job and as a full-time job. But the thing
Maybe you
about
better put that on the speaker so it's recorded if you're gonna say something nice.
and you haven't even paid me to say this, but these guys are at it all the time, and there's no question about it, and the buck stops here as far as county business is concerned. Everybody's involved, it's teamwork, but these guys do a yeoman's job. And nobody's ever said to me in almost 10 years, what are your politics? Hey, we got to do this on this decision because some political person says we do. Nobody's done that. Everybody, there's often disagreement, but when consensus is reached, we move on and get to the next issue. And I really admire you guys for that, respect you, and I thank you for the time you let me spend with you. So
Thank you.
much appreciated.
Well, we'd kind of like you to stand up if you would.
Stand up, okay.
Yeah. We commissioners would like to have a proclamation made in your honor. Proclamation is, whereas the commissioners want to show their appreciation for his 10 years of service, whereas he has provided no meritorious service for Whitley County, where he's shown great dedication to our county and communities. Therefore, the week of December 18th to 23rd, 2017 is designated as the Honorable Dan Sigler Week.
Oh, thank you.
In Whitley County.
Yeah, only here, only here.
And I should say you're in good hands.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Just remember that is Whitley County.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. So, good luck to you. And I do still have files, which Matt and I are coordinating, so he'll have possession of all my files. I don't think any original documents. This beautiful lady here has those, so hopefully she's got them on device or safe.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all.
So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thanks.
And there he goes off into the sunset on his horse.
Do you want to get this done before you leave?
No, you can.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Yep,
Yeah,
thank you.
but some sits that way, I think he's going.
Yeah, he's confused.
I'm gonna go test out his power that he just got. See what he's gonna get
Yeah.
away with. So I looked at this contract, it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, and just so you guys know, I mean, Dan has been a huge asset in the way we did this. I think in the end, frankly, is gonna be cheaper because I've known him forever, and it makes it so much easier to transition when you have a really good relationship with the person you're transitioning with.
I'm not laughing at you.
No,
But did he produce this document?
yes, he did. I haven't seen it till just now.
Well, you might want to take a look at the three commissioners.
Oh, did he not change it? It's been a while since he tried. I didn't even look at the signature lines.
Tell him we rejected it.
Yeah, it must have been a while since he had to do anything, so.
I would make a motion, we accept the contract with the change in the name on there.
Okay, we got a motion to accept the contract for attorney as presented with the changes, with the amendment of the last commissioner name.
Second.
Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Just as a point of clarification, I guess, given this transition and how we move forward, is I'm assuming that that he's going to get brought in from you guys, not from me, unless you tell me otherwise. In other words, if you think you need to exercise, or you tell me otherwise, and I'm not just going to call him and then bill you for that unless we. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how this is going to play out with the consultant thing. I'm thinking that he's going to cover if I can't come or something, and if I have a question.
Kind of new to me too, but.
But I think the intent was that you had the ability to confer with him about things that may come up that he has experienced over the last.
That's exactly the way I thought
Few
it was
years.
too.
Perfect.
It
Yeah, I
gives
just
you
wanted
the
to make sure we were on the
opportunity
same
to
page.
pick the phone up and call him and not have to sweat the.
Not have to worry about calling you
Yeah.
first to see if
Yeah.
it's okay. Okay,
Because there's got to be things come up that he's
absolutely.
very familiar with, and
Yep. And rather than trying to, reinvent the wheel, it'd be easier just to
Yeah.
call Dan, who's been doing it for a long
Yeah.
time.
He'd
Okay,
be a
And-
great one to fill in for you. We'd
okay.
have no
You know.
problem with that. I don't
No,
know.
that's fine.
And you well know that you guys got a ton of experience handling goofy stuff.
It really is best to have an attorney present for our meetings, so.
And that was one of the things George and I talked about when I started, is I'm happy to do that. If
Yeah,
that's-
great.
I think that's
Great.
what I do for my other board, so.
Great.
Okay.
Now that he's completely gone, I'm not planning on leaving after every meeting, after 5 minutes. Okay, I just want to make sure we were on the same
Okay.
page. Great.
Yeah, I think
Thank you,
so.
Matt.
Sounds like we are.
Okay, first on the agenda is Nathan Bilger for a plat approval.
It's the one we had in our office for a
Yes.
couple weeks.
Yes,
We've
we've
all
had it.
looked at it.
So make the
Got a
motion.
chance to look at it. It's a one-lot
Yeah.
plat to be called Whitley's Estate. It's on North 109. The Plan Commission approved it at their November meeting. Just took them a little while to get it onto Mylar and to us, so can't be much simpler than that, just a rectangle. If you've got any questions for me.
Hearing no questions, I move we approve this Whitlow's Estates. It's
Second.
one plot
Okay, we got a
subdivision.
motion and a second discussion. Plan Commission was on approval of everything. There wasn't
Yeah.
any issues with that.
No, and there are associated covenants with it, which are typical.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
Unless you've got questions for me.
Not at this
Commissioner?
time.
I just don't like lording over you while you sign.
Committee.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you.
One thing we would like to talk to you, on the steering committee, how are you doing on that with the zoning for the CAFOs and?
Good. We had to reschedule, I left sick on Friday afternoon, so we rescheduled the most recent Thursday, this Thursday. I think we're setting the groundwork, getting everybody kind of on the same page, getting a lot of why are we doing this questions answered, which is important so that we're not. With the new year, then we're going to goal is no later than June.
As far as what you're going to regulate, is that just, aren't we dealing with zoning here more than
Yes.
anything?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
zoning regulations, but it's the confined heating operations, residential development. But do we regulate more than what we do now? Do we still have the same levels as confined heating operations starting? The goal is to have something that is work.
Will that go to the Plan Commission before it comes to us?
Yes.
Okay.
You're seeing give and take on this committee?
Right now, it's an education level, and yes, there are a lot of people who are talking to each other and they're from opposite sides. The very extreme agriculture, very hippos, and very. There's a lot of common ground that we're finding. And whether that winds up being in why we're going through this process to find a common ground.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it's going.
I think as far as I'm concerned, what I'd like to see is that we, it's hard. How many people have you got on the committee?
14.
Okay, it's hard to get 14 people to agree on anything. And so what I think I'd like to see is that we try to make this as concise as possible, try to get things going, and we want to make sure that we do a good job. But the longer we leave this go, it just gets to be an issue with the different sides being against each other. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we do a good job here, but
The buck ultimately stops with us.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just,
And it's got to stop with the planning commission before that.
yeah.
And again, what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see the commissioners have the meeting minutes. We haven't been
Okay.
appraised of the meeting minutes, and I really would like to see something like that, so we know.
Yeah, we'll get you they're on the website, I'll get you the.
Okay, that'd be great.
Memorandum.
Kind of gives us some idea how things are going.
Yeah, we can.
But we want it to be productive. We don't want to waste 14 members' time for months and the various other people that are attending. We want to make sure we have some productivity and not waste your time, staff's time, and all those people. They all have jobs too.
Yeah, and I hope that everyone realizes that we're doing our own research, off to the side too. It's not that we're just waiting for information to come to us.
And that's. I'll get those to you.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas if I don't see you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Debbie Beers, comp time in the voter registration and election department. I think we've been through this before.
No.
Seems like we have.
Well, the first thing I have here is a form for donation of PTO time. One of my employees would like to donate to another employee of need. And this just needs the commissioner chairman's signature,
Okay.
if you approve it.
Okay.
The employee in need is going through a family crisis right now, and she's running on.
Okay.
I would make a motion, we approve the request for donation of PTO.
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
Got a second? Further discussions? All those in favor?
Modify it to say, to allow the chairman to sign.
Okay. And with the amendment that the chairman will sign?
And does that need department head's approval also before that can happen? Or just
No, it
our-
doesn't specify that, it just specifies that we need
Yeah, it's-
commissioner's approval.
It's pretty much run through the office we don't currently have.
Right.
So, I mean, that's
Yeah.
doing it fine, doing
And
it this way.
once I'm finished here, then I'll take it up to Vicki, and then
Okay.
she'll work and write stuff what needs to be done.
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I'll
Got
just
it.
go ahead and take that to Vicki then.
Sure.
That is
Thank
right
you.
nice of that employee to do that.
Yes.
Yes, it's going to be a blessing to the person that's going to receive it.
Okay.
I just wanted to come to you, and this will be my last time, I promise.
Were you resigning?
No, to talk to you about comp time.
Oh.
I know oh, yes, because I need to talk in here. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about comp time in our election department, not the court processing clerk's department. I understand that there is a limit of 40 hours of comp time per county employee. What I am requesting and asking, if you would consider in our election department, every election, the employees that I have which are two, will accumulate about 150 hours per person of overtime per election. I know that there is the option to pay out overtime. I'm aware of that. The employees would prefer comp time, but what I want to bring to your attention is we have always accumulated comp time in voter registration and election. We have never had a payout at the end of the year. They're very well aware that that comp time is to be taken before the end of the year, so we've never, ever had an issue there. And one of the other things too that I wanted to let you know is that everyone in my office is cross-trained. So if there's an empty chair, I do not go to outside sources to fill that position. We all back each other up. So if somebody's gone on comp time, the job is being performed. So basically that's it. That's all I have to say and to bring to you. It's a whole different breed of office. You can't compare it to my other office. So I'm just bringing it to you to consider, to see if it's a possibility that you would approve comp time instead of overtime for the election department.
Now that just happens every other year in the general elections?
It happens every year, every 3 years. Then we have the fourth year is an off year. So we have elections for 3 years. This coming year, 2018, we have a huge election coming up.
17 is the off year.
Yes, this year was the off year.
And 19 is just the city elections?
Yes.
Now, do they collect that number of comp time in that small
Maybe not
city
quite
election?
Probably not quite as much, but still a lot. Because even though it's a city election, we still have to go through the whole process. You still have to do your poll workers training.
Well, this is learning.
Sure.
Learning for me, that's what I'm asking.
And you still have to run absentee voting and training, working Saturdays and so forth. So is it less time? Yes, Tom. It'll be slightly less.
I think one of our biggest concerns is if you're comfortable with it, because you're the one that's really going to have to deal with it.
It's never been an issue, I promise you. They're very well aware, and they're also very well aware that today might be a no. And they understood that, but I just wanted you to know that in this consideration, it's not been an issue, and I will not have to bring anybody else from the outside to cover during comp time.
It's my assumption that there's plenty of time for them to use the comp time.
There is.
Right? I mean,
yes.
They're very busy, I get that, but they're not busy 365.
During the summer, we have a good 3 to 4 months to where a lot of that comp time is taken.
Yeah.
And
it's not an issue for your office then?
It is not an issue. I promise you, it isn't. For years, this is how we've operated. It's never been an issue.
I'm not a proponent of comp time, but I do really get it in this case because I don't like comp time because it puts a burden on other employees.
I understand.
This doesn't really seem to do that, and this is a unique situation. This is you're very, 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 very busy, don't have much to do. Very, 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 very busy, don't have too much to do.
You're absolutely right.
I get it, and they can use it, and yeah, so I guess I would make a motion to allow the comp time for the election personnel only, nobody else in your office.
That is correct. I do not need it in the other
Right.
office.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve comp time for the election personnel.
Well, I'll second it for discussion.
Got a second for discussion?
And I want, you said it, but I want to hear it again, that you're perfectly good with this, and
I
it's
am.
not going to affect you.
I am, Tom. I am. I have a great staff. They cover each other. It has never been an issue.
You know, because what George said, it comes down to you're responsible.
I think what helps is we're a small office, and because we're all cross-trained, and we all do each other's jobs, it is not an issue.
Now, are you term limited?
I am done the end of next year.
That's it, okay. All right. Because I don't know that you'd want to pass on to any other candidates that we may not do this every year.
That's
so
totally, will be up
that's-
to that clerk.
Yeah, we're
If
talking-
that clerk feels that they want to come and speak to you again.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Debbie.
It would be a very nice Merry Christmas to my staff.
Merry
Thank you
Christmas.
very much.
Christmas to
Merry
you guys.
Christmas to all
Tell
of
them
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Brandon Forrester.
Jana, do you have that? We'll bring it up today, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I told her I was gonna nominate her, so I just wanna make sure we.
Brandon Forrester is our highway engineer.
Brandon Forrester is looking, there it is, the blue pen. I have the LPA NDOT contract for bridge inspection. And change it. Matt has graciously reviewed it and
Yeah, it's fine.
so if you would care to sign and date is what they're asking for. Well, actually, they want a vendor type, name and title, signature and date. It's only 12 pages.
Some of the other state contracts require blue ink. Does that say whether this one does or not?
This is blue ink.
Yeah, I think we carry one now too.
Okay, I don't think that I was specifically instructed, but I think it's just.
Seems like a lot of the state
Yeah.
contracts are like blue
Well,
ink.
that's just pretty.
So, I don't know if we need to make a motion, because we've
Already
already,
approved
Yeah,
it,
we've approved doing it, it's just a matter of,
signing it.
yeah.
Is that,
Would you want a vote on it? Is that,
I don't know that, I mean, it is a contract, and I don't know.
I make a
that-
motion, we approve the local
LPA NDOT.
LPA NDOT contract for bridge inspection, which for the audience, it pays 80%, am I not right?
That is correct.
80% of our bridge inspection, which is many thousands of dollars, so.
second,
okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the LPA NDOT
do we,
contract
now,
for
wait a minute,
bridges.
we already approved it, now we just approved signing it?
Okay, the motion to sign it, the
Yeah,
motion to sign it.
I'm just asking.
No, you're right.
Yep.
We have approved it a long time ago, so.
And I second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Is this 4 years?
It is a four-year
yeah.
contract. The bridges, well, the majority of them get inspected, in fact, all but one get
What's the
inspected
date?
every other year. Today is
18.
12/18/17, I'm sorry. I think I signed something 18/18 the other day. We have one bridge that gets inspected every year. That's the Larwell Bridge that,
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah,
over the
Matt.
railroad?
yeah, Matt asked me about that earlier, if I'd heard anything, and I have not. I need to see. We've begun making contact with the railroad on that, so,
Good luck.
yeah, this state contract will be easy compared.
I already told you I'd never vote to spend $1.5 million for that.
I understand that, Tom. I'll just have to count on the other two votes. But we actually, I did find in my files upstairs, the agreement between the county and the railroad for, I want to say, Bridge 108, which is Quessy. And,
Okay, now, I don't want to interrupt you, but that thing was replaced a few years ago, sometime back.
30 plus? yeah.
No, well,
It was
see,
in-
man.
Maybe it was
Yeah.
20 years.
It was all that, I'm pretty sure.
I've got a picture. It was mid-80s or
But
mid-90s.
anyway, so, Is there any record of how that was handled, cost-wise or anything?
That they agreed to cover some of the costs. So I've shared that. Did I get that to you? Okay, I shared it with our consultant who is, had made contact.
Yeah, I suppose it's been longer than we think, but that's a good cement bridge.
Well, sure, yeah. Well, yeah. The alignment isn't the best, but and that's part of the problem that needs to be discussed also with Larwell. There's not enough. There might not be enough room to construct a bridge that meets current railroad standards.
Between the two streets.
You gotta have so much clearance between the tracks and the bottom of the bridge, and you gotta have so much clearance between the tracks and any piers or abutments, so.
I'm pretty sure there's not.
And that could be, I mean, that could be the deal killer for you. But we still need to discuss with them how to proceed. We can't just wait for it to fall in.
Eventually, you're gonna have to do something.
Yeah. So, I'll get with our consultant and see if he's heard anything more on that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not gonna fall in anytime soon, but what will happen is the bearing, where it bears on the ends, will continue to deteriorate to the point where, as it's inspected every year, the consultant will recommend that we close it. And that could be in 2018, it could be in 2019. Right now it's at 5 ton. Chances are they'll take it to 3 ton, and then once it reaches 2 ton, we're supposed to close it. So. So, the other thing that I have is last time you signed a right-of-way cut permit for Town of Churubusco sewer project, Croston County Road 375. They're taking bids on that job, and some of the contractors were asking if we would allow them to just close the road. The plan presented to me was to do a half at a time. I kind of wondered how they were going to do that, but it's not my job. It's not my design. So now they're asking if they can do for one day a full road closure, and what they need for a detour. I put it back on the designer with DLZ. You can give me a detour plan, or the contractor can. But it involves NDOT, Whitley County, Allen County, Town of Churubusco. And the closure is going to be right at 33. No one will turn off at 33, so if you're northbound and you see the road's closed, where's the detour? You head southbound, you see the road's closed, where's the detour? Well, it carries over into Allen County, and it doesn't change the permit necessarily. They want to cut the road. It's just kind of the details, the construction details. So I don't know if you guys need to revise your approval, if you want to just, in theory, it's going to be for one day.
To me, it just makes sense to do it if it's just one day, do the whole thing.
I don't have a problem with it. I simply have a problem with, I don't have a problem at all. I need to know that certainly everybody on 375 North in that area in Whitley County needs to be notified. And as would EMS, fire, everybody. Because it's kind of like a gateway to get to Eel River Township. So, to me, does that sound like a job that's limited by weather, Brandon?
Well, it could be, sure.
Rain?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't want to be working in the rain. They would end up making.
So I'm just trying to decide if we, so we can't put signs up, or they can't, that specifies a date, because may not make it.
Well, we can ask them too. You know, we do that for our big bridge projects.
Yeah.
We don't do it for every culvert. You know, I mean, we've replaced 30 or 50 culverts this summer, and you know, we call dispatch when we close the road, we call them when we open the road, and we don't notify every resident, but that's, you know, a half to 3/4 of a day closure.
Yeah, and you're not talking that many, but the bigger issue is that road's used a lot by C&A Tool. So that's
Right.
I think the employees go to work that way, to be honest with you. I think
Oh, sure.
it's a counterclockwise progression, and I think they're to come up 33, turn east on 375 north, and then enter the property and go counterclockwise to the parking lot. And then when they get off work, then they're gonna come out on 33. At least that's the way I see it every day.
Yeah.
Don't want to get out of my driveway at 3:15 in the afternoon. But
Right.
anyway, so C&A would have to be notified too.
Sure, yeah.
And for them to make a modification for a day would not be at all a big deal in my mind, so.
Okay.
Here again, that's not your responsibility, really.
Well, no, I
So,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
pass this on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
And there's nothing unreasonable, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will definitely pass that on to the engineer and.
Good.
While you're here, we'll do the
Yes.
right-of-way permits if you would.
Yes. I think we only got, what, 2 or 3? 2? Yeah.
Okay, the first one we have is for CenturyLink. It's work on South 600 East.
I move we approve it. How do I identify this one?
You approved it, right? Yes. I'll second your motion.
Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second to approve. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Working relationship any better there?
Yes.
Perfect.
We had an on-site meeting out at Deer Chase, which is kind of where this whole utility thing.
That's right.
Multiple.
Brought it to
That's
a
right, I
head.
forgot about that,
We
yeah.
brought it to a head, and
Yeah.
of course, the drainage board proposed an ordinance to charge fees and fines.
Yep.
And so Angie and I pooled our resources and found every utility contact that we could find in all of our emails and notified them of that. Yeah, we met out at Deer Chase with this individual's supervisor, and we talked about a solution for them at Deer Chase, and everything has been, yeah, fine.
Great. Good news.
Okay, the second right-of-way permit we have is for MediaCom. That's for 3536 East Lincoln Way. It's installation of ducts and coaxial cable by directional boring. If they started it, they must have cut a line because I haven't had internet for the last 3 days.
Move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion to approve. Got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Yeah, earlier this year, I was without phone for about a week, but I had internet. And then a couple weeks later, my internet was out, but my phone worked.
I had pretty good luck with MediaCom, but all of a sudden,
What all do you use it for?
just internet and TV.
You do have internet? so?
Actually been pretty good.
Okay.
That's it. Anything else, Brandon?
That's all I have.
Anything, Brandon?
You know, what about them, that pickup we approved, is it in captivity?
We haven't seen it yet. We were told January or possibly February. Hopefully it comes in January. Maybe we should have bought GM. They're working Saturdays and Sundays.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yes,
Yep,
they
thank
are.
you.
Should have took the lower price, they could probably found one.
Hey, I'm not the one that made the motion.
I haven't lost any sleep.
That's not
I've not lost any sleep.
Thank you. We'll be all right.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yeah, and I don't have it here in front of me. It's not a big deal, kids, but give me a second. Of course, this was a little different than that one. I'm sorry, it's just, there was just one word.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That should just be West River Road. It got in as Wester, W-E-S-T-E-R. It should be West River Road, so I make a motion we approve the minutes with that change. It was right here somewhere.
And a motion to approve the minutes with the change of the Wester to West.
I'm gonna abstain since I was absent.
Okay, we
That's
got one
right, I
abstention.
forgot about that. Geez, I hope you'll second it.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
I must have already been missed, you forgot it.
Well, I thought you were basking somewhere warm, but I guess you were what, just Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay, claims.
I had a chance to review the claims this morning. I was, before I get into that, I'll make a motion we approve the payroll claims.
Okay, we got a motion to approve payroll claims.
Second.
Got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
So, with regard to the other claims, I did find some claims that struck me as expensive. I was able to speak with the department head. I understand what that situation is, and I've kind of passed that along to you. The other thing, Jana, that I want to say is a kind of a thank you to Tamla here. The credit card claims are voluminous. They're just voluminous, and I thought, if I sit down and go through every one of these, I'll be here till 4 o'clock. Miss the meeting. So I called her in and I said, I guess you gotta assure me that if I approve the claims, every credit card claim has documentation attached to it. And boy, she went right through it. She pulled one out and she showed me right down to, like if I use a card, I'll just get a receipt, you know, and on personal side, except for my business, which I get itemized, and she showed me where we just picked one at random, and then she pulled it out. She showed me that it was all itemized right down to the, you know, and she mentioned that she's ran into some things that weren't allowable, and she sent them back, and she said the courthouse doesn't always appreciate her. But I said, well, I do. I do very much. So she really eased my mind a lot, because she absolutely does have documentation with those. I feel very comfortable that if she didn't, she's not gonna let it go. So so that's, I guess with that, did you have any questions in there? Anything you found? Okay.
Nope.
With that, I'll make a motion, we approve the claims.
I'll second them.
Got a motion to approve claims, we've got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same.
That's right. It was kind of cute last meeting, you know, you weren't here, she was here, and she gives these papers to sign, and I said, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure we got signed 3 times. She only gave us 2 places. Oh, yeah, there's, you know. I didn't mean to embarrass her, but I thought, I'm pretty sure we signed 3 times every time. You got any money I can borrow? Jeez.
Okay, we have a appointment to make to the Churubusco Public Library. The members of the Churubusco Public Library Board respectfully request the appointment of Jana Heil to a term of 4 years on the library board. They feel she'd be an excellent addition to the library board, and her term would expire December of 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I'd be honored to make a motion that we approve the appointment of Jana Heil to the library board. She's a wonderful lady and a great member of the community.
Second.
We've got a motion, we've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same. Thank you.
And that and to make notation that you're the only one that has to sign it. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
the
chair.
commissioner, chairman, sign it.
Jenna.
Just a couple things. The first thing is, I did your meeting schedule. That way you have everyone, I can send it out, everyone has deadlines for when they need to get the information to me, to give to you guys a few weeks in advance, so you have enough time to process and kind of do some research on something they may be presenting you. Just trying to be a little bit
That's
more
good.
proactive with meetings, so
Good
if
try.
you could,
Perfect.
approve that for me for
Okay.
2019.
That'll help.
We need to approve this. Will we approve these dates?
Second.
Here's your copy.
Motion to approve the packet deadline date and the meeting dates for the commissioner meetings for 2018. Any further discussions? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same. Thank you.
For those in the audience that are interested, don't forget, both January meetings are on Tuesdays. We have a two-holiday week, two-holiday month, so.
Janet's gonna be on a holiday for one month.
So you'll still be able to get hold of me.
In fact, you may beg us to, please.
And the only other thing that I had is, we have already received pre-approval for settlement, so everyone should have their money by Friday.
Wow, good job. Good job.
You good staff people up there are doing well.
Yeah, appreciate it, yeah.
Compliment them.
Yeah. Do you know if we're in line for 1782s? Have you heard anything? I look at the calendar, I look at the status thing, and we're with most others, but I didn't know.
I'm hoping, usually this is, I've seen us on there yet, so.
Not as under review yet, no. Well, I think once you're under review, you're there, so, okay. Yeah, it's not that big a deal. You ought to have it, but I'm saying, it's been February for the last whole bunch of years, so.
I think their goal this year is to get them all done by December.
I know, but that's when I heard that, I thought, that's an awfully lofty goal. 92 counties? Yowie. Okay.
Tom?
No, I don't have anything.
Commissioner?
Merry Christmas. That's it, sir.
Merry Christmas for everyone. I think.
I did like your beard.
But my wife didn't.
Well, no, I got it then. Never mind.
And unfortunately, she
No, I get it. Nope, I
She
get
won.
it. I get it.
Do we have anything from the public?
Oh, come on.
Jay, what'd you think of that ball game Saturday night?
It was exciting.
Huh?
It was a good turnout.
It's kind of a little different ball game than we've seen for
Well, you had your boys back.
this year. Yeah. It makes a difference, doesn't it?
That was a good game.
Yep. Made a big difference.
Call for the,
Motion to adjourn.
got a motion to adjourn.
Wow, for 2017.
It's over.
Wowee.
I'd like to thank everyone for attending the meeting.